is a fall chill in the air, and that has Pirates fans thinking about October. They're not there yet, but the Pirates are tied for first place in the National League Central. The Cubs and Pirates will play Game 2 of a 3-game weekend series here in Pittsburgh. Hi again, everyone. Along with Jim DeShays, I'm Len Casper. The Pirates are in a very good position to be in the playoffs. They would like to win their division. They probably have the National League's MVP in the middle of their order, too.
Yeah, it seems like he's always in the middle of things for the Pirates. We're talking about Andrew McCutchen, very gifted player. He can do everything on a baseball field. Hit for power, hit for average speed, a plus defender. Last night, maybe the key hit in the game. A one-out double, the man on first base, set things up for the Pirates. A well-pitched game. Defense important. How about this play by McCutchen out in center field? Just a tremendous player. And yeah, I'm with you, Len. I think he's the MVP of the National League this year.
Well, he just does so many things well. He hits for average. He can hit the ball out of the ballpark. He plays Gold Glove defense, and he can steal a base, and he's always been good against the Chicago Cubs. Interesting battle of right-handers tonight. Jake Arrieta will go for the Cubs in another audition for next year's rotation. Charlie Morton, the sinker baller, is back for the Pirates after leaving his last start early.
Yeah, Arrieta's been up and down so far for the Cubs. In his career against the Pirates, he's made 2 starts, one last year, one the year before. 2-0 with the 3. Charlie Morton here in his home ballpark has been really good. 2-2 with a 288 in 7 starts.
Longest trip of the year for the Cubs, 11 games in all. They're 2-2 to start it. It'll be a good atmosphere tonight here in Pittsburgh as the Cubs and the Bucks play Game 2 of this weekend set. We'll have the lineups and all the action next.
Maybe I should get that.
Maybe you shouldn't.
Brian Urlacher?
I'm back to defend you from DirecTV's latest offer. With DirecTV, your bill more than doubles after a year.
Not cool.
And they lock you into a 2-year contract that could cost you over $3,000.
That's a lot of cheese.
That's why the smart play is Xfinity. With the X1 platform, your DVR can record 4 shows while you watch the game live. Go long. Don't get sacked by DirecTV. Oops. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
It's Gary Lang Chevrolet's Keep Your Cash Sales Bash. Buy with no money down and no payments until next year. Right now, buy a new 2013 Chevy Silverado for just $177 a month. We have a huge selection of all new 2014 Silverados in stock now. And you can make no payments until next year. So drive out today and see why the right truck at the right price right now has made Gary Lang #1. And remember,
if it doesn't say Gary Lang on the back, you probably heard too much.
And here we go, folks.
It's your favorite hot dog bun, mustard, and overpriced watered-down beer.
Are you sure you want to eat all that? Because you already weigh more than your team's batting average.
Let's just toast to our anniversary. Oh no, it's corked.
Let's just watch the game. I tweeted all of your friends to come over, but I guess no one showed up, just like at Mobile Phone Park.
That's okay. I invited one of your friends too.
There's a long drive and it's out of here.
Give a real anniversary gift this year. Escape to the Champagne Lodge in Willowbrook, just 25 minutes southwest of Chicago.
Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. BMO Harris Bank, helping money make sense. BMO Harris Bank, NA member FDIC. AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Well, there's a lot of excitement here in Pittsburgh, and why not? The Pirates are tied with the Cardinals, and they only have 16 games to go. Both teams 85 up, 61 down, and they've won 4 in a row after losing 4 straight. 3-1 the final last night. Pirates taking the opener of this series, and the weather has changed quite a bit. It was definitely in the forecast, but partner, we might be in the 50s by the time this game ends.
Yeah, a little chill in the air today here in the Steel City. It feels good, refreshing. Good night to play ball.
Big hand for the Pirates as they take the field behind right-hander Charlie Morton. And let's look at the Cubs Southwest starting lineup. Morton will face. The Cubs are 47-47 all time on Friday the 13th. Starlin Castro will lead it off. Luis Valbuena, Anthony Rizzo. Look at all the lefties. Switch hitter Deanna Navarro, who will hit left-handed. Nate Scherholtz in right. Brian Sweeney in center. Brian Bogusevic will play left. And then Darwin Barney, right-handed hitting second baseman, bats 8th, with Jake Arrieta, the pitcher, in the 9 spot.
Pirates in the field this evening. Top it up, McCutchen Jones in the outfield. We showed you that play McCutchen made last night. He's outstanding out there. Alvarez and Barmas on the left side of the infield. The right side has Neil Walker back in there after a night off last night. Justin Morneau over from the Twins plays first. Russell Martin behind the plate. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher for the Pirates. It's a lot of P's, and he's got good pop on his fastball. Charlie Morton coming back from elbow surgery, then a little shoulder thing going on. So he's only made 16 starts, but he's been pretty steady. 7-4 with the .344. Got knocked around a little bit last time. Actually had to leave the game early because of a bad foot. But 6 or 7 starts prior to that, he had been on quite a roll.
Here are the umpires. Doug Eddings working home plate. Dana DeMuth, the crew chief, at first. Mike Estabrooks at second. Paul Nauert over at third. And it's Friday, so a lot of fans getting off work and trying to get here before the first pitch.
Isn't that bad luck to walk across a bridge on Friday the 13th?
It might be. Is there a ladder they can walk under with a black cat passing by? I don't believe in that stuff. Do you?
This is like a national holiday for guys like Turk Wendell.
Here we go. Starlin Castro takes a strike from Morton, and we're underway.
Well, Charlie Morton's got a good sinker. He's going to run it in on the hands of the right-handed hitters, and that's why Dale has countered with so many left-handed bats in his lineup. The numbers bear it out. Lefties hitting .331 against him. Right-handed hitters .250. Good curveball and a changeup to go along with that sinker.
Well, it is in the 50s. 59 degrees at game time. Starlin could not hold up. Call made by Eddings behind home plate.
Now Morton, more of a pitch to contact guy with that sinker, but he does have a good curveball. He'll get swings and misses with this curveball. It's a real good put away pitch for him. And Castro, I'm not so sure. 50-50, flip a coin maybe, or at least ask for help.
Yeah, that's an ask for help swing.
AFH.
Castro not too thrilled, as you can hear in the background. And Valbuena looks at ball one inside. Don't know if it means anything, but Luis is 1 for 40 in this ballpark. Home run cut that time. 1-1 the count. It'll be a big crowd tonight. Not a huge crowd last night, but they were into it.
Yeah, they're expecting a sellout tonight and one more tomorrow, which will establish a high for sellouts in a season here at PNC Park.
You mentioned Morton. He only went an inning and 2/3 on Sunday in St. Louis. Had to leave with left foot plantar fasciitis, and he was not good. 6 hits, 5 runs. If he has an issue early, right-hander Brandon Compton is ready in the bullpen, or would be ready. according to Clint Hurdle.
Well, in the that start not good. The previous 6 starts, he worked at least 6 innings in all of them and allowed no more than 2 earned runs in any of them. So he's been clipping along just nicely.
.29 years old, 6'5", 235. Charlie Morton. They got him from the Braves in 2009 in the Nate McLouth deal, as Valbuena works a 1-out walk. And here comes Anthony Rizzo. Snapped an 0 for 17 with a 9th inning single late last night.
Charlie Morton 2-12 with a 757 in 2010 for the Pirates. The next year he bounced back to go 10-10 with a 383. He's dealt with a lot of injury issues since that time, but he made a little bit of an adjustment in his arm angle, started throwing 2-seamers to get that sink. That's really what turned things around for him.
Now they've got the shift on as Rizzo pops one foul. Normally that's a fairly routine catch for the shortstop or third baseman, but Alvarez and Barnes way off the line and both near second base. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses just low.
It's interesting with the infield shifted as much as they are. Tabata in left field, it looks to me like he's actually tightened up a little bit, figuring that Rizzo's not going to drive the ball over his head and he's going to have a fighting chance to catch a blooper in shallow left field.
High and deep to center. McCutchen back to the warning track. I'll tell you, Rizzo just missed one. Valbuena back to tag, but he's going to hold. What a throw by McCutchen to Neil Walker at second base. Well, if Anthony straightens that one out, it might end up off the batter's eye wall.
They've been getting in on his hands, but this time he gets extended through that fastball and just misses it. Good tag. Good idea by Valbuena, and probably a better idea not to try it.
Here's Navarro in the cleanup spot tonight.
Pirates pitching has been steady all year long. They leaned heavily on their bullpen. Their bullpen has thrown more innings than any team in the league. Starters have been steady as well. Wandy Rodriguez been on the shelf for a good long while. Burnett's been good. Liriano's been outstanding, maybe the free agent signing of the offseason.
We'll see Francisco Liriano on Sunday. Wood and Liriano, excellent matchup of lefties. Swing and a miss to make it 1-2.
Back with that curveball, so it's sinkers when he's looking for contact. Curveballs is the swing and miss pitch for him. But he's not, a finesse sinker baller. We've seen him at 94 here already tonight.
Stuff has always been good for Morton. He has not put up generally good numbers at this level. He does keep the ball in the ballpark. "16 homers in over 300 innings since 2011.
Yeah, and that's when he made the commitment to the two-seamer, to the sinking fastball.
to end the inning. 2 strikeouts for Morton in the first. Jake Arrieta to the mound when we return.
Edmunds.com says the 2013 Nissan Altima is a better car than Camry. To argue would be rude. Nissan Altima with moving object detection. Get 0% APR financing. Shop at ChooseNissan.com.
When it comes to being better, what's better? Being better or worse? Better! Okay, and what are you better at?
I'm better at telling jokes.
Okay, let's see what you got.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Queen.
Queen who?
Queen, my dishes, please. Queen. It's Queen to make it funny.
He doesn't get it.
It's not complicated. Better is better. And AT&T is the nation's fastest and now most reliable 4G LTE network.
Refreshment calls. Coors Light answers. Frost brewed Coors Light, the night's most refreshing beer.
Kelley Blue Book says Nissan Rogue is designed to stand out from the competition. Bet Honda and Toyota never saw that coming. Nissan Rogue with class exclusive around view monitor. Get 0% APR. Shop at ChooseNissan.com.
Now the Pirates Southwest starting lineup. They rank 20th in the majors in runs, but 32 triples as a team, 3rd most among all big league clubs. Tabata leads it off. Walker in the lineup for the first time in the series. McCutchen, Morneau cleaning up. Alvarez moves up a spot. Russell Martin will catch. Garrett Jones, a Harvey, Illinois native, is in right. Clint Barmas off to a good start in September, and Morton, the pitcher, hitting 9th.
Let's take a look at the Cubs and see how they set up defensively tonight. Bogusevic, Sweeney, and Sherholz. Very solid outfield tonight for the Cubs. Valbuena, Castro, Barney, and Rizzo on the infield. Rizzo having an outstanding year defensively. Yonder Navarro is behind the plate. Our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher for the Cubs tonight is 27-year-old right-hander Jake Arrieta. 3-4, 549, and 11 big league starts this year with Baltimore. And the Cubs 2-2, 428 in 6 starts since joining Chicago. Fastball, curveball, slider, cutter, change, mid-90s with the velocity on the heater. Likes to sink it. It's all about command.
Tabata, Walker, and McCutchen. Tabata has been filling in for Starling Marte, who is active, but right now can only pinch run and play defense. 1 ball, no strikes. One time Tabata was considered the future out there. Signed a 6-year, $15 million extension 2 years ago. Struggled last year, spent some time at AAA. Some DL time earlier this year, missed 34 games with a strained oblique. That's Arrieta's biggest issue. Throwing strikes, 3-0. That one in there.
And Jake last time out against Milwaukee got beat 5-3. We're 5 innings, allowed 3 hits, 4 runs, all of them coming in 1 inning. Walked 3, struck out 4. 1 bad inning, everything else was really good. But 1 bad inning is oftentimes the story in baseball.
Now Pittsburgh native Neil Walker. All the guys on this roster, he is kind of the go-to guy in terms of the 20 consecutive losing season story that has now come to an end. He was born here. 2-time Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Male Athlete of the Year in high school. He was a catcher, then a third baseman, and now entrenched at second.
Yeah, heck of a football player in high school as well.
Drives that ball out into deep right. Sherholt's back on it. He'll make the catch on the warning track. Tabata was almost to second. He did not tag. So allowed out by Neil Walker.
A good swing of the bat by Walker, but out number one recorded by Sherholtz.
McCutcheon with a 10-game hitting streak and a homer shy of his third straight 2020 campaign. That's homers and stolen bases every time he's come up in this series. They've been chanting MVP. I think they're going to get their wish. Big swing, and he fouled it back.
Such a quick bat.
The last Pirate to win the National League MVP award was Barry Bonds. The Pirates' last winning season, 1992. Prior to this year, that is. Ground ball into left. 2 on with 1 out. It's their first hit.
I know it's easier said than done, but if I had a young kid that I wanted to teach how to hit, I'd say, just watch this guy. Do what he does. He makes it look easy. So balanced in the box. Not a lot of wasted motion. Makes a lot of hard contact.
Justin Morneau 0 for 3 with a walk and a run in the opener. Finishing up a 6-year $80 million contract he had signed with Minnesota. So they basically rented him for a month plus the postseason, and after that, who knows? If they go on and win the World Series and he goes somewhere else, he'll still be a Pirate for life. Never have to buy another dinner here in Pittsburgh.
Pierogies for life.
Yeah,
be in the Pierogi of the Month Club. Ooh, swing was long there. He was selling out on that 2-0 heater. My goodness. He was thinking river with that swing.
Third career start for Arrieta against the Pirates. 2-2 on Morneau. Arrieta as an Oriole winning both those starts. The kick, the pitch, and he struck him out. The runners will advance as the ball got away from Navarro.
Trying to go up with a fastball, and he throws a cutter down towards his back ankle, fooling Navarro, and the movement beat him.
Probably be a passed ball.
Yeah, should be a passed ball.
Pedro Alvarez had the game-winning RBI last night. He could not hold up. Leads the National League in homers. How about this? He's hit 32 homers, but has hit none over his last 15 games. That opened the door for Paul Goldschmidt, who has 31, but Goldschmidt hasn't homered in his last 20 games. On the ground, the Rizzo, Arrieta over to cover. The flip, the out. And we are through one in Pittsburgh. 0-0.
Sometimes going to new places is the only way to truly arrive. Going new places, that's how we fly. Southwest Airlines now offers nonstop service from Midway to Charlotte and Rochester. If it matters to you, it matters to us. Book now online, only at southwest.com.
$5 foot long. $5 foot long.
Footlong Nation rejoice! Right now at Subway, any regular footlong is a $5 footlong, all September long. Like the turkey breast, meatball marinara, and even the kickin' buffalo chicken. With tons of $5 footlongs, we need an entire month to celebrate.
Subway, eat fresh. Need a reason to drive a Ford with EcoBoost technology? I got 10.
I feel like I'm driving a race car.
More horsepower and more gas mileage. It's just a great combination.
Another great thing, Ford mileage beats Toyota in every segment we compete. Moving on.
Handling.
Sleek and cool.
Technology.
Assisted parking. Feels safe.
And finally, drum roll please.
Getting that kind of gas mileage is awesome.
Bingo.
Get a Ford Focus with 0% financing for 60 months plus $1,500 bonus cash.
Every game day, get right to CSN for the most in-depth Bears coverage. Live from the field. Tune in an hour before kickoff for Bears pregame live and preview the game from a Chicago perspective. Get a closer look at the first half on Bears Halftime Live, exclusively on CSNChicago.com. And after the game, Bears Postgame Live, presented by Nissan, brings you straight to the locker room. Spend game days with Chicago's Bears headquarters. Comcast Sportsnet.
MLB.com At Bat is your #1 mobile app for live baseball. Available for iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry 10. At Bat delivers Cubs baseball with live audio, pitch tracking, stats, highlights, and more. Text At Bat to 31826 or visit Cubs.com for details. Right fielder Nate Scherholtz looking at a strike, underway in the second. 5 for 11 against Morton. Career high 20 home runs for Nate. Down quickly 0-2.
Last night it was Jeff Locke for the Pirates, and he was really, really good. 7 innings, allowed just 3 hits and a run. Walked 1, struck out 5. So all these Pirate guys trying to make their best case as Clint Hurdle starts to consider a postseason rotation. Clint's probably keeping that pretty close to the vest these days.
I would think
that's
so.
Been secured.
Yeah. Morton coming back from Tommy John surgery. As you see, the Cubs were the first left-handed 20-homer apiece tandem in 40 years. Morton actually came back to the big leagues 1 year minus a day after the elbow reconstruction. It was in mid-June. So he missed the first 2.5 months recovering this season. Tried to find the back door, could not. So after an 0-2 start, he's run it full with Sweeney on deck. Bogusevic also due up this inning. leadoff walk. By the way, it goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway, that at least for these 4 days, Cubs Nation can add Cardinal fans to the group. Might not be easy for some St. Louis fans, but they don't want the Pirates to win.
No, meanwhile, they're playing their bitter rival, the Seattle Mariners, this weekend.
You would dub it bitter, huh?
Wainwright Iwakuma tonight. A very good pitching matchup.
Cardinals lost to the Brewers last night. Check on Sherholtz.
And that's where the Reds are. The other player in this NL Central race. Reds at Brewers tonight. Latos against Loesch. Another good matchup.
Call that matchup Latos.
Well, Charlie Morton, a ground ball pitcher. He wants to make sure he's keeping these guys tight. Doesn't want to give up a double play opportunity.
There goes the runner, and a bunt by Sweeney. Sherholtz will hold at second.
Sherholtz running on the pitch. I'm flummoxed.
Here's Bogusevic.
I think if Sweeney's thinking about bunting for a hit there, if he sees Sherholtz going, just pull the bat back. The mechanics looked like he was trying to sacrifice.
Low and outside.
Which, yeah, there's
somebody got
conversation
mixed up.
going there. Yeah.
Well, I can't imagine Dale asked Sweeney to bunt.
No. I think Sweeney thought he saw something that wasn't there. And what you hope is that your players know the way you like to play the game enough where if they do think something's on that's a little out of the ordinary, they go down and talk to David Bell. You sure you want me bunting here? David said no.
Blew it down to the left, and it'll get down. First and third. It's the only bad news there is that Sherholtz committed and saw it was going to drop and was unable to score.
Now you see the secondary lead, then the ball off the bat of Bogusevic. He's kind of looking while he's running, and a little hesitation.
Just keep going, right?
Yeah, there comes a point where you're so far off of second base that if the ball's caught, you're going to be doubled. So you might as well just put your head down and go as hard as possible. I'm guessing in his mind, he felt like he hadn't gotten to that point. He felt like he could still scramble back and get to second if Tabatav was able to come in and make a shoestring catch.
Barney with runners at the corners and one out. That's the first Cub hit, and he bunted through on safety squeeze.
So the worst case scenario here clearly is a double play on a catch in the outfield. So Sherholtz, again, by the time he took that little stutter step, I don't think there was any way he was going to get back. But he'd broken it down enough, it was going to be tough to get back up to full speed and score.
I'm not one who would wear the T-shirt that says, you know, stop bunting with the big red circle with the slash through it. But I think there has been a little too much bunting for my taste in this series. I know the Cubs are struggling to score runs. And again, I think the Sweeney play looked like a missed sign.
Yeah, I think there was something amiss there. The big picture, macro, I'm anti-bunt unless it's really late in the game or a pitcher. But there are always extenuating circumstances.
It was our AT&T U-verse multi-view. And the 2-1. Flip for one, but they will not get two, and Barney will get an RBI. Sherholtz scores, and it's 1-0.
Ground ball hit softly enough. And Barney was able to beat the Rap at first base. Barmas, he knows what he's up against, so he comes very aggressively charging that ball, gets it quickly to Walker at second base. And Walker able to get the ball off with Bogusevic leaning on him, but Barney able to beat it.
Darwin with his 41st knocked in. Arrieta with a runner at first takes a sinker low.
Sometimes, you know, there are certain situations where you scratch your head and say, why are they bunting here? And sometimes what we don't know is, you know, the guy at the plate, whether, you know, he just is having bad at bats through the course of the game. Manager thinks he's overmatched, and maybe this is the best I can get out of him in this particular plate appearance. You know, in this series, Alvarez down there at third base has made a bunch of throwing errors this year, so maybe that comes into play a little bit. Dale's doing a lot of teaching tonight. We've been talking to Sherholtz about the base running there, probably making the point, just go ahead and go for it.
Two on the way, struck him out to end the inning. Leadoff walk, however, is converted later on the fielder's choice by Barney, and it's 1-0 Cubs.
Help yourself to a new build-your-own omelet with all the fixins, and help others at the same time. For every omelet purchased this week at Denny's, America's Egg Farmers will donate one egg on your behalf to a No Kid Hungry partner to help end childhood hunger in America.
You can choose to blend in. Or you can choose to blend out. The all-new 2014 Lexus IS. It's your move. Lease the all-wheel drive 2014 IS 250 for $349 a month for 27 months. See your Lexus dealer.
Crispy white meat chicken with hot and spicy buffalo sauce. Did you just take my taste buds to the equator? Rick never takes me to the equator.
Try the new Buffalo Chicken Strips Small Combo Meal, just $4.99. Burger King, where taste is king.
1-0 Cubs. We head to the bottom of the second. Tomorrow, come on back to Comcast Sportsnet for Game 3 of this series as Scott Baker takes the hill against Pittsburgh's Garrett Cole. Coverage begins at 5:30 with Papa John's pregame live. Don't miss Cubs Pirates tomorrow night at 5:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Garrett Cole, the rookie right-hander who's been very impressive for the Buccos. big part of their future. And Scott Baker making his second start. Pretty solid last time out. First time on a big league mound in a couple of years. Baker threw 5 shutout innings at the Brewers.
The struggling Russell Martin hitting a .130 over his last 14 games. And he fouls off for strike 1. Arrieta winds and fires, strike 2. Arrieta, 5th round pick of the Orioles in 07. Out of TCU, born in Missouri, grew up in Plano, Texas, as he strikes out Martin rather. So you've got Morton and Martin and Marte on the Pirates.
And he just blows his fastball by Russell Martin. He never got that front leg down in time. Watch the big leg kick, and by the time he gets set, the ball's by him.
Garrett Jones has seen his playing time diminish after the acquisition of Justin Morneau. Marlon Byrd's been playing right. It's Jones tonight, and it'll be Bogusevic in left to make the catch. 2 quick outs. Interesting, as Barmes comes up, they're playing Journey, and the first line of the song is Just a Small Town Girl. I'm not sure if Clint picked that or not, but that's a good sing-along song.
Well, he played for the Alices in high school. Vincennes High School, their nickname was the Alices.
There you go. Vincennes, the oldest town in the state of Indiana.
Alice of Vincennes was a novel, Civil War time, I believe. So the school adopted that nickname. And ironically, they call their girls' teams the Lady Alices. That doesn't make sense, does it? If you're already the Alices, why do you need to be the Lady Alices? But I digress.
We usually enjoy it when you digress.
Already to the bottom of the second here.
1 and 2 on Barmes. Morton, the pitcher, on deck. Barmes went to college at Indiana State. Jam shot liner to the third baseman Valbuena, and the inning comes to an end. 2 in the books. Cubs 1, Pirates nothing on a Friday from Pittsburgh.
Don't miss Red Lobster's endless shrimp. It's as much as you like any way you like. Try new soy wasabi grilled shrimp and more. Only $15.99. Offer ends soon. So come in and see food differently. Now try 7 lunch choices for $7.99. Sandwiches, salads, and more.
It's time to head someplace new, wherever that may be. The all-new 2014 Mitsubishi Outlander, named an IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus. Lease one now for as low as $219 a month at your local Mitsubishi dealer.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced, or descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs.
Everyone likes a bit of order in their life. Virtual Wallet helps you get it. Keep track of spending, move money with a slide, and use the calendar, all to see your money how you want.
Before Allegra, my day belonged to my allergies. After Allegra, it belongs to me.
The power of Allegra relieves your toughest symptoms. It even works on ragweed, the #1 cause of fall allergies. And only Allegra is fast and non-drowsy. Stop suffering. Start living.
Can't get to sleep? Can't stay asleep? Clinically proven Unisom helps you fall asleep faster and stay asleep so you wake rested. Unisom, fall asleep faster, sleep longer. And to melt away your restless nights, try fast dissolving Unisom Quick Melts.
Make sure you send us your comments on tonight's game through Twitter using hashtag Cubs Talk. We will read one back later on tonight. It is our AT&T tweet of the game. And yes, it is Friday the 13th, so some baseball oddities. Not all bad stuff. Clark Griffith with his first career shutout back on this date, 1897. As number 13, Starlin Castro fouls off. Pete Rose got his 4,000th hit with the Expos on the 13th of April, 1984. Matt Cain had a one-hitter last year. James McDonald had the hit. Miguel Cabrera asked for the batter's box to be redrawn. And I love the Greinke note as Castro is out 4-3. Do you recall the circumstances around the third straight start? Yeah. He got kicked out after 4 pitches on July 7th. Then they decided to start him the next day. He only went, I think, like 2 1/3, 2 2/3, and it was right around the All-Star break. So then he started the next game for the Brewers, which happened to be July 13th.
Right after the break, right?
Right after the break, yeah. Red Faber in 1917 started both games of a doubleheader and then threw a complete game the following day.
Yeah, well, dead ball era. Dead ball era, to a large extent, pitchers were trying to put the ball in play. They could be very aggressive, and by the end of the game, the baseball was beat to a pulp. It's also back when spitballs and scuff balls and all that was still legal.
Luis Valbuena skies one into center. McCutchen makes the catch, 2 outs.
First baseman Anthony Rizzo.
Now Alvarez, I think this was the setup of the last time they shifted against Rizzo. Alvarez over with Walker, and they're leaving Barmas at the shortstop position. I wonder if it had anything to do with that foul pop. So same shift, but now the third baseman is over on the right side of the bag.
Yeah, last time Valbuena was on first base, so it might have been with turning a double play in mind.
Yeah, that makes sense. Good call. One and two.
Man, that curveball's been really good tonight.
You mentioned Roy Halladay. I mean, it got to the point when he reworked his mechanics where he kept watching video of Halladay and tried to mimic him. Not a bad guy to emulate. Morneau to the bag unassisted. Cubs go down quietly and quickly in the third, leading 1-0.
I returned in Djibouti, Africa, 2004.
Vietnam in 1972.
Fort Benning, Georgia in 19
USAA auto insurance is often handed down from generation to generation because it offers a superior level of protection and because USAA's commitment to serve military members, veterans, and their families is without equal. Begin your legacy. Get an auto insurance quote. USAA. We know what it means to serve.
There's so many things that we do on a daily basis.
We run errands, we run to the grocery store. In fact, the average American drives fewer than 29 miles a day. The 100% electric Nissan Leaf goes 2.5 times that on a single charge.
It's a car. It just doesn't take gas.
So think about where you go in a day. Do you really need gas to get there?
The 100% electric Nissan Leaf. Nissan. Innovation that excites. Now get a 2013 Nissan Leaf for $199 a month.
The Illinois Lottery wants to wish everyone a happy birthday. With the new Birthday Surprise Instant Game, you could win $150,000 every year on your birthday for the next 20 years. And $150,000 instantly. That's a lot of cake. So celebrate any day with Birthday Surprise. Anything's possible.
Tomorrow, get right back to CSN as the Cubs square off in a division showdown with Andrew McCutchen and the Pirates at PNC Park. Coverage begins with Papa John's pregame line. Cubs, Pirates, tomorrow night at 5:30 on Comcast Sportsnet.
There's one final homestand before the end of the season, so don't miss your chance to enjoy a game at historic Wrigley Field. The Cubs will battle it out against the Braves and the Pirates. Tickets are available for the entire homestand, including tickets in the Budweiser bleachers. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. So you get a little chance to preview a couple of playoff teams. We haven't seen the Braves in forever.
I know. First road trip. 1-0 on Morton. Fastball at 93. It's 2-1. Good swing that time and fouled back. Nationals trying to have a furious finish and grab a wild card spot. Steven Strasburg scratched tonight with forearm tightness. They're playing the Phillies.
Dealt with that earlier this year as well. The Nationals, winners of 17 of their last 22 ball games, making some noise but running out of time.
Former Pirate Ross Ohlendorf filling in and leading 2-1 in the third.
Well, if you're Davey Johnson and the Nationals, I'm sure you know the conversation in the clubhouse is, hey, just keep on going, put some pressure on the Reds, see what happens, see if they'll start to feel the heat a little bit. I mean, you start to play the game. If the Reds play 500, the Nationals need to do, you know, this. And when you look at it that way, it's pretty daunting for the Nationals. But we have seen miraculous comebacks in this sport before.
Driven to right, but foul.
Pretty good hack there by Charlie Morton.
Just talking to Dale about that before the game. He had a really Samardzija lately, putting guys away. 2 strikes.
Well, you know, right now he's just trying to channel fastballs. He doesn't walk the opposing pitcher. About half of the 3-2 counts Jake has had this year have resulted in a walk. So he's just willing to pump fastballs toward the heart of the plate until he gets Morton out here. And Morton doing a good job just fighting these pitches off.
Grounds out to Arrieta, and we'll get an ovation from the home fans. I think it was an 11 pitch at bat.
Took a little bite out of him. But if you're Jake in that situation, you can't afford to try to trick him with a breaking ball and end up walking him. So you just got to keep pumping it in there.
So a 10-pitch second for Arrieta. He got 3 outs. And here's number 12 in the 3rd. And it's a strike to Tabata. So did you see Jose Fernandez in the home run he hit and what he did?
I did, yes.
Okay. And your thoughts on him admiring his homer? And I guess he also ended up spitting toward Chris Johnson as he rounded 3rd.
Spit on the ground. Yeah, I watched the replay of it. Well, apparently he and Chris Johnson had gotten into it in the previous half inning or at some other point earlier in the ballgame. So there was something going on. Gaddis hit a big home run, and he maybe looked at it a little bit. Jose Fernandez is very demonstrative on the mound. A lot of emotion, talking to other players. You know, normally just having fun, not necessarily trying to show them up. But he was very remorseful in his post-game comments. I noticed that. He's I kind of got carried away. I shouldn't have stood there and watched it. Shouldn't have reacted the way I did. So I think he did a real nice job of kind of owning it and putting it to bed.
His season is over due to his innings limit, as Tabata could not hold up. That's strike 3. His manager Mike Redmond agreed and said just want to tone it down a little bit. Want a guy to enjoy himself and have fun, but as Mike was quoted, I think maybe he can center that a little bit as well. So I guess if that's the only thing he has to work on for next year, it's not bad. What a year.
It's so interesting, though, the unwritten rules and kind of the baseball ethics police as to what you can and can't do on a baseball field. And you think back to Ricky Henderson in the day when he did a home run, Reggie Jackson, some of those home run trots Reggie would take.
Bounced up there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, I'm sure Ricky was involved in some bench clearing brawls, but I don't remember a specific incident where somebody threw up and in on him just because of the way he played.
Right, people didn't like it. He was considered a hot dog, but and the same with Reggie. But I don't remember. I mean, people would knock Reggie down anyway because you had to pitch him up and in, and I'm sure there were times where guys took a shot at him, but it wasn't. I guess it wasn't talked about and replayed, and it was just part of the game.
Well, that's a function of the media today too. Everything is televised. Find it on YouTube. But it also tends to die down faster and go away. Move on to the next 24-hour cycle. Left field corner and slicing out of play.
Yeah, and I think Fernandez is one of those guys because he is so animated. Sometimes his actions are probably misinterpreted by the other team. They see him out there. When Gaddis hit the home run, I saw the one clip, and the kid he was saying, "Wow!" He was like, "Wow!" Like, man, that ball went a long way. guys in the other dugout, you know, maybe they misinterpret what he was saying or how he was reacting.
Swing and a miss to end the inning. Good start for Arrieta after walking the leadoff man in the first. He's been nailed since.
Sometimes going to new places is the only way to truly arrive. Going new places, that's how we fly. Southwest Airlines now offers nonstop service from Midway to Charlotte and Rochester. If it matters to you, it matters to us. Book now online, only at southwest.com.
Staying cool all night requires refreshment. And refreshment means Coors Light. Always brewed down to 34 degrees. With two-stage cold activation and mountains that turn blue. All so you know exactly when your Coors Light is as cold as the Rockies. Let's get the night started. Frost-brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
At GMC, incredible thinking is everywhere. It's in the state-of-the-art dealerships. It's in a customer experience that's ranked highest by J.D. Power. And it's in the advanced engineering of the entire GMC lineup. Lease this 2014 GMC Acadia SLE for around $299 per month. Plus, get 1 year of Sirius XM, including every NFL game.
Tonight, catch High School Lights on Comcast Sportsnet for the stories behind the season and can't miss highlights from the field. Your home for high school scores and highlights is High School Lights, presented by Discount Tire. Tonight at 11 on Comcast Sportsnet.
This fourth inning is brought to you by the new Cool Ranch Doritos Locos Tacos from Taco Bell. Liv Moss. Yeah, they drive pretty fast here in Pittsburgh.
Slow down, people. It's the big hurry.
Cubs leading 1-0. Deanna Navarro here in the fourth against Charlie Morton, who's had a really interesting career. You look at Charlie Morton's minor league numbers, parts of 11 seasons, and they're not great. Well under 500, 4.16 ERA. That ball is crushed. Line shot's going to be off the out-of-town board. Navarro's going to have a single. The wall out there 21 feet high in honor of the late Roberto Clemente. So he missed a homer by about 10 feet and ends up with a single.
Yeah, he blisters this ball. He can't hit it any harder than this. Turning on that 91-mile-an-hour heater from Charlie Morton. Yeah, and no chance at all. You see where Deanna is. He's barely even to first base. Jones is retrieving that bullet off the wall.
Leadoff man on. Ball one on Sherholt. So early in Morton's career, if you look at his low minor league ERA numbers, they're not good. He was a third-round pick of the Braves in '02. He was not only well aware of those numbers, at one point in the Braves chain, he said it bothered him that a lot of his good friends in the Braves organization were putting up better numbers than he was, and they were getting released, but he was not. He said, I didn't understand it. But his coaches kept telling him, you've got great stuff. They did not want to give up on him or have him give up on himself.
It was projectable. They saw the arm, they saw how the ball jumped out of his hand, and they felt like sooner or later this guy's going to figure it out. Or if he does figure it out, we're going to have a good major league pitcher on our hands.
The moral of the story, I guess, kids, is life sometimes isn't fair. Especially as it comes to arms and pitching in baseball.
Yeah, minor league baseball, it's not necessarily about the results. It's about the promise that you hold as a player. Can you ultimately come up to this level and deliver? There are a lot of guys who are very successful pitchers in the lower minor leagues, but they just don't have the stuff to compete against big league hitters.
The 2-2 on the way is low and outside.
So Morton had the stuff. He just didn't have the pitchability, the pitching IQ, and the command. So he was struggling at the lower minor leagues, but the stuff said big league arm.
Swing and a miss for strike 3. Cutter?
I think so. Whether it was intentionally cut or not, it had a little cutting action.
And Sweeney, Morton, born in Flemington, New Jersey, went to high school in Connecticut. And low for ball 1.
I mentioned how he patterns himself after Halladay, and you can really see it in the delivery, the way he tucks that shoulder, drives his chin down towards home plate.
Sweeney's from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. At one point was the White Sox #1 prospect, according to Baseball America. Drives this one out in the deep center. McCutchen back. He will get there. Boy, he makes it look easy.
Yeah, that's the ball that we're always saying. That's the toughest read for a center fielder. That line drive directly over the head, but it was nothing but a can of corn for McCutchen. Well, he did have a little bit of an angle on this one, but a good jump. Imperative to have speed in the outfield here at PNC Park. Especially in left field. Well, normally, you know, your left field, you're kind of slow-footed guy.
Another ball crushed. Brian Bogusevic gone. A 2-run homer, and the Cubs lead 3-0. Into the bushes out there, over 400 feet away.
Wow, that was an impressive swing of the bat, and 3 really well-struck balls in this inning by the Cubs. Navarro hit that bullet off the wall. Sweeney's drive, and now this one from Bogusevic is our 4th home run replay. Number 5 for Brian. Not getting the sink on that fastball and paid a big price.
Bill Morton, a guy who, as we mentioned, keeps the ball in the ballpark, but not that time. Oh, 2 to Barney is low. 1-2.
Darwin had his iPad out yesterday in the clubhouse. Some kind of game he was playing. It's a Baseball Empire. You heard of this? It's like a simulated game where you build stadiums and own a club. And
really?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what you do.
That's fun.
Yeah. Interesting.
Pitch number 70 for Morton, and a fly ball out in the right. Garrett Jones has it, and that'll end the inning. Well, off the field, Brian Bogusevic, a very quiet guy, but he made a loud noise with his bat on that swing. A 2-run homer, and it's 3-zip Cubs.
Find big savings during the Menard Day sale. Gorilla Tape is the toughest tape on the planet. It's durable and sticks to concrete, metal, and more. 30-yard rolls of white or 35-yard rolls of black tape are $6.99 each. Complete a variety of projects with Irwin Hand Tools. Choose from a wide selection of pliers, clamps, and more. This 7-inch fast-release vice grip provides comfort and leverage without hand fatigue. $7.99.
Save big money at Menards.
Have fun.
You too.
Experience the Audi A4 at your local dealer today.
Xfinity presents.
It's September 14th, and the world has stopped for the one event. Mayweather versus Canelo. The unbeaten pound-for-pound king. The undefeated Mexican superstar. Who is the one? Mayweather versus Canelo.
Order the fight and get 3 months of showtime at no cost. Go to Xfinity.com/boxing.
Get real-time info, including pitcher gas gauge stats and tweets with Cubs in-game live only at CSNChicago.com. It's brought to you by Comcast Business Class. Great look at PNC Park. Big crowd tonight. Jake Arrieta working with a 3-0 lead. Brian Bogusevic just hit a 2-run homer. It'll be McCutchen, Morneau, Alvarez for the Pirates here in the 4th.
Jake walked to Jose Tabata to start the ball game and allowed a one-out base hit to McCutchen. Other than that, nada. He's punched out 4. It was the 4th inning where he ran into trouble last time. They'd given up no hits through the first 3 in that start against the Brewers.
Line out to the shortstop, so McCutchen keeps hitting the ball hard, this time for an out.
He hits live pitching the way most guys hit batting practice.
From New Westminster, British Columbia, Canada, suburb of Vancouver. Menard's Big Lumber's stat. Pirates last night with their 46th win, the most they've had in a single season in this ballpark, which opened in 2001. Forbes Field, Three Rivers Stadium, PNC Park. The homes of the Pirates. Since 1909, that is. Did you know this is the first ballpark, or was the first ballpark built since County Stadium in 1953 to have just 2 levels?
I did not know that.
Lower deck, upper deck.
Beautiful ballpark, great sight lines, and of course taking advantage of the river and the skyline of the city. Pirates feel like they've turned a corner now and will be able to attract more free agents. Guys who target Pittsburgh as a place they'd want to play now that they have finally had a winning season. Time will tell on that front. They got a pretty good young club, and they've got more on the way.
Well, the biggest thing usually is money.
Yeah.
In terms of free agents. They're spending it. I mean, their projected payroll is about $66.8 million, most in team history. Still not close to being among major league leaders in that category.
You know, it's you kind of go back and forth on the debate whether it's, you know, how much money you spend is primarily how smart you spend your money. Some years there's a real correlation between the high payrolls and the winningest teams. Other years there's not.
Well, think about Morneau. I mentioned the $80 million deal he signed with the Twins. I don't have, you know, the rankings, but I'm guessing only Joe Mauer's probably signed a bigger contract in that team's history. That's not the kind of deal you normally would see very often in markets like Minneapolis or Kansas City or Milwaukee or even here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, well, it's such a big gamble for those smaller market clubs. It's tougher for them to make up for the mistakes. The Yankees, if they sign a guy to a big contract, doesn't pan out, they just move on and sign the next one.
McCutchen, how about McCutchen's deal? 6 years, $51.5 million. Does that not sound like a bargain? In 2017, when McCutchen turns 30, he'll be making $14 million a year. That's it. Paying him $4.5 million to probably be an MVP this season.
Yeah, and remember, folks, when Len says that's it, he's talking relative to Major League dollars.
Yes. Thank you for a disclaimer.
Think of it as points. Because there's a lot of guys that would be making well into 20+ points. So that's the key, right? Identify those guys early enough. Sign them to those long-term extensions. You have cost certainty. And hope you made the right guess. Well, your scouting, your development, you've done all your analysis. And that's exactly what the Cubs have done with Castro and Rizzo.
That's a strike to Alvarez. Well, not only is it probably smart to sign your young, under control players, those are also the guys you can sign to long-term deals if you are a small market. That's you're kind of almost stuck, and in a way that's good that it's discipline that is forced upon you by your payroll. In other words, the Pirates probably, I mean, we have no idea, but by the time McCutchen's deal ends, if he continues to be the player he's been and maybe even get a little better, there's no way the Pirates will re-sign him when he's 31 or 32 because he'll cost too much. But then the theory is, well, hopefully they've won, 4 division championships and maybe a World Series or 2 by that time. And then, as the saying goes, somebody else can overpay him. Alvarez, a high towering fly ball, deep right center, and off the wall. Alvarez on his way to third. Nick Leiva's going to send him. The relay throw won't be made. That is an inside the park home run for Pedro Alvarez. His first homer in 16 games, and it didn't even leave the yard. Partner, that's the highest fly ball I've seen in a long time.
Well, you got to be a strong man to hit it this far, this high, and give Alvarez credit. A lot of guys would have got caught looking at this one, but he hustles. He took one little peek, but then he got after it, ran the bases very hard.
That might have been out anyway. That might have gone over the yellow line. It won't matter now. And he probably would rather have the inside the Parker, right?
Well, he was kind of cruising down that first baseline, but he turned it on halfway between first and second. They call him the Bull. You would not want to draw a charge on that man right there.
I think that was a home run. Anyway, that ball might get out for Russell Martin as they go back-to-back, 3-2.
I mentioned that Jake's undoing was the fourth inning last time. It was walks that got him in trouble in that ball game. And he's probably out there just thinking, well, they don't want me to walk people. I'm trying to be aggressive, and boom, back-to-back home runs. But again, lack of command manifests itself in many ways, not just walks, but mistakes in the strike zone, trying to go away and down a little bit. And a pitch right over the heart of the plate. Got this joint jumping. Navarro just to kind of calm things down a little bit. Still got a one-run lead.
Let's go back to the Alvarez homer. It appeared as though a fan tried to make the catch. If Alvarez had been held at third, they would have gone to the replay review. Watch a man in the black jacket. Question is, he hit it with his hands, so would the ball have been over the padding? They might not have been able to conclusively
that was
overrule it.
That angle, because it was such a high drive and such a steep angle of descent, is hard to tell.
But the point is moot. Crowd's into it. Garrett Jones, deep center. 3 in a row. Alvarez, Martin, and Jones. And that's not a Dion song either. 3-3.
Has anybody here seen my baseball? This time it's a breaking pitch. Just trying to get over with a breaking ball. Not a horrible pitch. Just a good piece of hitting by Jones. Staying back and then through that ball. They're all shook up here in Pittsburgh.
Back to back to back.
Well, I'll take you back to 1990-ish in Cincinnati. Mark Portugal pitching for the Astros against the Reds. The same exact thing happened. Back to back home runs. And Bob Cluck, the pitching coach, went out to talk to him. And Porchy kind of gives him a wry smile and says, "You're kind of late, aren't you?" And Clucky said, "I'm not here to talk to you. I'm just giving him time to reset the fireworks for the next one." Turned around and walked off the field. I doubt that that's the conversation that just took place between Arrieta and Bosio.
First time the Pirates have done this in 10 years. Kendall, Giles, Sanders. And we're tied at 3 apiece. Two balls and a strike to Barmes. All of this with 2 outs. Now remember the Morneau at bat. It was a long one. I think it was 13 pitches, 12, 13 pitches. Coming right before the Alvarez home run. At 12 pitches. And he had, what, an 11 pitch at bat against Morton back in the 3rd inning. The 3-2 swing and a miss, strike 3. With this huge crowd now on its feet as the Pirates hit 3 consecutive home runs and were tied after 4.
Looking for a reason to get a Ford SUV with an EcoBoost engine? I got 10.
To hear that there's an SUV that got that kind of mileage, that's very exciting.
That's because Ford mileage beats Toyota in every segment we compete.
You could hear the oomph. This feels like a sports car, man.
That would be the EcoBoost. Next up.
Had amazing control, safety, intuitive, 3 rows, a lot of bang for your buck.
And the number 1 reason? Woo! That sums it up nicely.
Get an Escape with 0% financing for 60 months plus $1,750 bonus cash or lease for $199 a month.
It's Gary Lang Chevrolet's Keep Your Cash Sales Bash. Buy with no money down and no payments until next year. Right now, buy a new 2013 Chevy Silverado for just $177 a month. We have a huge selection of all new 2014 Silverados in stock now. And you can make no payments until next year. So drive out today and see why the right truck at the right price right now is made Gary Lang #1. And remember,
if it doesn't say Gary Lang on the back, you probably heard too much.
Let's compare bundles with Dish Network and DirecTV. If you want the best in TV, phone, and internet, then Dish Network simply can't compete because DirecTV partners with the nation's leading providers to deliver a superior bundle for one low price. Combining some of the fastest internet speeds with the world's #1 TV service, DirecTV's bundles leave Dish in the dust. Another reason 30 million people agree. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV.
Cubs, Pirates, tomorrow night at 5:30 on Comcast Sportsnet.
3-3 ball game, top of the 5th. Time now for our slow-mo replay from Avis. We talked earlier about Charlie Morton mimicking Roy Halladay. You take a look at Halladay on one side and then Morton's delivery, that shoulder tucks. Very similar tilt on his breaking ball. As Len mentioned at the time, if you're going to mimic somebody, not a bad idea to copy Roy Halladay.
So I have a question for you. On the Alvarez blast, should the umpires have looked at that replay because of potential fan interference? And I wonder if Dale had gone out, would they have looked at it? Just, you know, I think our replay showed that we weren't sure if it was out or not, but
yeah, I guess
could they have stopped Alvarez
they could have maybe
based on fan interference? Potentially.
Yeah.
See, it's tricky because it's the first inside the park home run I've seen that you could possibly review to see if the ball was actually out or not. In other words, I haven't seen a play quite like that. Because if it's in play, once the fan touches it, right, theoretically, the play should be stopped.
2 bases.
Well, fan interference, so I think it's on where the player would have gone. Or
they can place it.
Yeah, they place the runner. Two and 2 on Arrieta.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Haven't seen 3 in a row very often, and I don't know if I've ever seen 3 in a row, including an inside the park home run.
I've seen it a couple times. Was on the mound for one of them.
Do you remember the batters?
I don't. It was the Reds. It was right around the same time Portugal did it. I'm guessing Eric Davis and maybe O'Neill, maybe Sabo. I don't remember. The record's 4 consecutive home runs in a game. It's been done a handful of times. 4 times in the AL, 3 times in the National League. Most recently, 2010, D-backs against the Brewers. LaRoche, Montero, Reynolds, and Drew. Doug Eddings, he refuses to ask on these check swings.
I should get credit where credit's due on, wondering about the fan interference. Pat Hughes and I were chatting between innings about why the umpires didn't take a look at that just to see.
Yeah, because the argument you anticipate having if you're an umpire is that he interfered with a home run ball, and therefore we're going to let him circle the bases.
Right.
And since he circled them anyway, they don't even contemplate the other scenario. Was it fan interference on a ball in play?
That man's phone is blowing up, and he's
his left hand,
a bruised hand. Base hit into left.
By the way, how many guys do you see wear their ears inside their hat?
One.
We're going to have to get to the bottom of that.
Valbuena takes ball one low and outside. Two balls, no strikes.
Morton not getting the ground balls in this game like he normally does. These guys you tend to want to start runners against to try to stay out of double plays.
Another ball well hit. Way back there. McCutcheon on the tracks. Got it. Valbuena just waves his hand in disgust. He just missed one. And boy, you're right. Cubs have hit the ball hard all night against Morton.
McCutcheon shaking his head. He's getting tired. Can't hit it much better than that. Rizzo up there. McCutcheon's just going to stay deep now. He's tired of going backwards.
Interesting. Baseball Info Solutions, they do a stat of the week. John Dewan's stat of the week, and they did a study on outfielders, in particular center fielders, on the play shallow, play deep question. I think it has long been held by many baseball people that if you play in, you take away cheap hits. Therefore, it's better to maybe play a step in than a step back. But that has been found to not be true. That you should play a little deeper.
Take away extra base hits.
Yes. Tony La Russa believed in taking away slugging. Even though he had a center fielder, Jim Edmonds, who played very shallow.
Well, and I think if the center fielder is fast enough and his instincts are such that he can cheat a little bit in, take away some blue pits, and still retreat and cover enough ground to, you're not going to catch everything out there. We always kind of honor those guys who have the daring to play a shallow center field. That kid in New York this year, Lagares,
yeah,
he was unbelievably shallow. It was interesting to watch McCutcheon just prior to that pitch. And we talk a lot about scouting reports, but as a player, you always react to the situation, the outs, the count, the pitch. And then the count went to 3-1, and he took a step or two even deeper and more on the pull side.
Driven to left. Way back there. Tabata on the track. Near the wall makes a catch. The Cubs continue to hit deep fly balls for outs to the warning track. Bogusevic did connect in the fourth, but we're tied at 3 in the fifth.
Kelley Blue Book says Nissan Rogue is designed to stand out from the competition. Bet Honda and Toyota never saw that coming. Nissan Rogue with class exclusive around view monitor. Get 0% APR. Shop at choosenissan.com.
Unbelievable. In our day, we didn't have Uverse high-speed internet.
Yeah, our babysitter didn't have a million ways to serve mom up on a silver platter.
We had to count sheep to fall asleep.
And I always worried that I was creating an overcrowded sheep farm. In my head, never looked like that farmer took proper care of those sheep. Too much. A little.
Connect all your Wi-Fi enabled devices with Uverse high-speed internet. Rethink possible.
$5 foot long. $5 foot long.
Footlong Nation rejoice. Right now at Subway, any regular footlong is a $5 footlong, all September long. Like the Subway Club, Sweet Onion Chicken Teriyaki, and even the Italian BMT. With tons of $5 footlongs, we need an entire month to celebrate, so hurry in.
Road and Track called Sentra an economy car, minus the look and feel of an economy car. Wonder how Civic and Corolla look and feel about that. The all-new Nissan Sentra with best-in-class MPG. Get 0% APR. Shop at choosenissan.com.
Hi, everyone. Luke Stuckmeyer with your Coors Light Sportsnet Central update. Looked like Jim Furyk was playing a different course than everybody else at the BMW Championship in Lake Forest today. He becomes just the 6th player in PGA Tour history to shoot a 59. He did it with a bogey on his card. The first player ever to accomplish the feat with a blemish on his card. Let's send it back to Len and JD, two great golfers in Pittsburgh.
Luke, thank you. Qdoba Mexican Grill wants to spread its 3-cheese queso love to the Chicagoland area. So opt into Qdoba's mobile club by texting Q to 50500 and receive free chips and queso. Andrew Lambeau, rookie outfielder, is going to hit for Morton, who went 5 innings. First start after leaving with the foot issues. Morton with 93 pitches in his 5 innings of work. He can only get the win if the Pirates score here in this inning.
Morton perhaps pled his case saying, I'm not tired, and Clint Hurdle said, yeah, but the outfielders are gassed. He gave up a lot of hard contact tonight.
Last night we wondered if Lambeau could field. I guess we're going to find out if he can hit. 4th round pick of the Dodgers back in 07. Acquired in 2010 by the Pirates.
Had 18 home runs at AAA this year. 62 games with AAA Indianapolis. Justin Wilson, hard-throwing lefty. Looks like he'll be next.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Cubs today announcing their minor league player and pitcher of the year. Congrats to Kyle Hendricks and Javier Baez. We know all about Baez. 34 doubles, 4 triples, 37 homers. So that's 75 extra base hits, which led all of minor league baseball. So did the 111 RBIs. First minor leaguer since D.T. Cromer in 1996 to have a 30 double, 30 homer, 100 RBI, 20 stolen base season. Hendricks went 13-4 with a 2 ERA between AA and AAA. Remember, they got him from Texas along with Christian Villanueva, the third baseman, for Ryan Dempster. That deal right now looking to be really good.
Villanueva had 19 home runs at AA this year.
So congrats to both.
I think the Baez number that gets my attention more than any, the 20 home runs at AA. Stepping up a level. He's young for that league, 20 years of age, to go to the Southern League and do what he did. He ended up fourth in the Southern League with those 20 home runs. The 3 guys ahead of him had 24 and then 22 and 22. They all had 439 at-bats or more. Baez had 218 at-bats at AA.
Ripped into right by Tabata.
They were trying to get in on him. They did a little bit, but he was able to get the barrel to it. Walker almost went deep in the very first inning. Hit that deep drive to right that Schuerholz tracked down. I'm not sure what the kiss is all about. Maybe it's to Jay Bell, the hitting coach. He said, hey, just try to go the other way, would you?
Schuerholz over, and he makes the grab, throw back to first. They got him. That's a double play. Tabata trying to race back to the bag. He's not going to be blowing any kisses to the second base umpire, Mike Estabrook, but he was out.
A little too far from shore. Tabata, I mean, he just keeps on drifting out there. And as Schuerholz closes on it, he's got to get back sooner than that. Nice play, Nate.
Wow, those sandwiches look amazingly expensive. Wendy's, so just amazing.
Oh yeah. Introducing Wendy's Flatbread Grilled Chicken. Warm flatbread sandwiches in 2 bold new tastes.
Now that's better.
When it comes to being better, what's better? Being better or worse? Better! Okay, and what are you better at?
I'm better at telling jokes.
Okay, let's see what you got.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Queen.
Queen who?
Queen my dishes, please.
Clean.
It's Queen to make it funny.
He doesn't get it.
It's not complicated. Better is better. And AT&T is the nation's fastest and now most reliable 4G LTE network.
You can choose to blend in. Or you can choose to blend out. The all-new 2014 Lexus IS. It's your move. Lease the all-wheel drive 2014 IS 250 for $349 a month for 27 months. See your Lexus dealer.
This big and toasted is better than ever. Gotta be the steak.
Oh, it's the steak.
Maybe it's the ambiance or the witty banter.
No, it's a steak.
It's definitely a steak, man.
The new Angus steak, big and toasted, is even better. It's big on steak, huge on delicious. Grab one today. America runs on Dunkin'.
Sunday, tune in to CSN as Konerko and the crew look to take down Jason Kipnis and the rival tribe in a series finale on the South Side. Coverage begins with Subaru pregame live. White Sox, Indians, Sunday at 12:30 on Comcast Sportsnet.
Welcome back. It's 3-3 as we move to the 6th inning here in Pittsburgh. Construction for the 2014 spring training home of the Cubs is nearly complete. The new Mesa facility will have features reminiscent of Wrigley Field with a unique Arizona field. Fans can place a $100 refundable deposit to secure their priority seating for season tickets. The seating selection process begins this fall. For details, visit Cubs.com/Mesa.
Time to race some pierogies.
Pretty strong finish there by Oliver. It's Olive, I think.
We've got a big head.
It's all that winning.
Navarro hitting right-handed, takes ball one from the new Pirate pitcher. That's Justin Wilson.
Wilson's been a very important piece for this Pirate bullpen this year. Among the best in baseball. A 6-game winner, but more importantly, 2.19 ERA. Tough to hit, man. Look at that, 70 innings, just 47 hits. He gets both lefties and righties out.
Cubs with 1 in the 2nd, 2 in the 4th. And then the Pirates hit 3 consecutive home runs in the bottom of the 4th to tie it. Shallow left. Tabata comes in, makes the play, 2 outs. When you make net purchases of $20 or more and show us your receipts, we'll deposit $20 into your U.S. bank checking or savings account. It's our special thank you for becoming a new credit card customer. Sinker just missed. Really the left-hander. Chang-Yong Lim is the righty. That's a strike.
Does not have the giddy up on his fastball tonight that we normally see. Usually sits around 95. We've seen him 97, 98 at times.
Well, Wilson has pitched in big spots. Fresno State went 8 innings, struck out 9, allowed 1 run in the championship game as Fresno State beat Georgia June 25th of 2008. So he was on that championship club, then Lynchburg, then Altoona, and the Pirates minor league system. He was Eastern League playoff MVP at AA in 2010. Pulled foul. Sweeney's got to get a new bat. Lined for a base hit. Keeps the inning alive for Bogusevic, who homered his last time up. And it brings us to our Xfinity high-speed action.
Base hit to left field first time up, and then just crunch this one. Pretty much dead central. Into the shrubbery.
Broken bat, fly ball will get down, and it will send Sweeney to third. Bogusevic 3 for 3.
Well, Bogey paying attention. Wilson out there. Third consecutive left-handed hitter Wilson faced. He'd been pretty aggressive with that first pitch fastball, so why wait? Bat dies a hero. Sweeney on into third base. Big chance here for Barney to give the Cubs a lead.
Ray Searage has done a great job with his pitching staff. Former big league pitcher himself, Ray Searage. He's a lefty.
Mets.
To West Liberty State College. Nickname?
I'm going to go with Sarge. Oh, West Liberty University nickname. I think that's Searage. West Liberty University. The Fighting Patriots.
The answer is. Was that a guess?
Yeah.
I think Hilltoppers. Oh, 0-1 on Darwin Barney. Outside. Arrieta on deck, but if the inning continues, a good chance he will not bat. Will end it as Barney foul tips. 2-out rally, no runs. 3-3 in the sixth.
Sometimes going to new places is the only way to truly arrive. Going new places, that's how we fly. Southwest Airlines now offers nonstop service from Midway to Charlotte and Rochester. If it matters to you, it matters to us. Book now online, only at southwest.com.
Relive the magical moments from London on Comcast Sportsnet. See the Fab Five, the Queens of the Beach, the King of the Court, and watch Michael Phelps make history one more time. See it all again when we return to London.
Find big savings during the Menard Day sale. Get unbeatable quality, selection, and price with Cabot Stain. Australian Timber Oil has 3-way oil protection in 5 finishes. Save $7 per gallon. That's $35 on 5-gallon pails. Keep your driveway looking like new with Seal Best driveway sealers. They protect against UV rays, gas, oil, and more. 2-year sealers only $11.98. 4, 8, and 10-year sealers are also on sale.
Save big money at Menards.
Design careers are changing, and the Art Institutes has 2 new programs to help you prepare for them. In Designing for Tablets Digital Publishing, you'll learn to create innovative experiences for tablets and smartphones. In our Graphic and Web Design program, you can become a graphic designer with interactive skills or a web developer with design skills. The world is your canvas. We can help you fill it in. The Art Institutes. Click or call now.
Bears postgame live every game day on Comcast Sportsnet.
Good ball game tonight. Bottom of the 6th. We're tied at 3. Make plans to attend the 29th annual Cubs convention this offseason. It's your chance to meet former, current, and future Cubs players through autograph sessions, Q&A panels, interactive experiences, and more. Book your room today at the Sheraton Chicago Hotel and Towers by calling and asking for the Cubs convention rate or by visiting cubsconvention.com.
Two-hearted ball's a single for McCutchen, and he lined out in the 4th. Oh, 2. Fly ball sending Sweeney back to the warning track. Off the wall. Retrieved by Sherholtz. It's a double for McCutchen.
Had to jump on him. Couldn't finish him off. Navarro wanted his fastball way off the plate away. It's outer 3rd and up. I don't think he got it out far enough. Where Navarro wanted it. McCutchen was just fine with it. He just misses a home run off the wall. Great hustle and heads-up play there by Sherholtz to come over and back up. Otherwise, McCutchen standing on 3rd base with nobody out.
Honda call to the pen. Go-ahead run now in scoring position with nobody out in the bottom of the 6th, and it'll be up to the Cubs bullpen from here on out.
When you only make SUVs for 65 years, all that learning leads to something remarkable. The Range Rover Evoque. Winner of over 120 awards, including the 2012 Strategic Vision Total Quality Award. Land Rover, above and beyond.
Humans. One day we're coming up with the theory of relativity, the next, not so much. But that's okay. You're covered with great ideas like optional better car replacement from Liberty Mutual Insurance. Total your car and we give you the money to buy one a model year newer. Learn about it at libertymutual.com. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Responsibility. What's your policy?
Okay, it's the Built Ford Tough sales event, so let's crunch the numbers. See, when it comes to building stuff and hauling stuff to keep America growing, more folks count on Ford F-150. Hey, the numbers don't lie. And only Ford F-150 has the best combo of fuel economy and torque. That's EcoBoost technology, pal. Hey, it all adds up to one thing. We own work.
Get an F-150 with 0% financing for 60 months, or choose $6,000 in cash savings plus $2,000 extra for your trade.
It's a Honda call to the pen, and it's left-hander Brooks Raley to face Justin Morneau as the Pirates try to grab the lead for the first time tonight after trailing at one point 3-0.
A couple of potent left-handed bats due up here for the Pirates in Morneau and then Alvarez. So Brooks Raley gets an opportunity here. Nice experience for these young guys on the road in a hostile environment with a team that's in a pennant race and a packed house. Steady the nerves. Just do your thing. Brooks, throughout his minor league career, has been a starting pitcher. He's got a starting pitcher's repertoire: fastball, curveball, slider, and a change. He'll also cut his fastball. He's notch or two below average in terms of velocity. He's shown a nice slider in his outings with the Cubs recently.
McCutchen, great speed at second.
Dancing off second base. I don't think he's going to go anywhere with nobody out and a left-handed batter in the box.
Popped him up on the infield, and I think it's going to be Raley. It is the pitcher to make the catch. Nobody else really in the vicinity aside from Rizzo. Big first out.
Raley was an outfielder in college. An outfielder as well as pitched at Texas A&M.
Coors Light freeze cam. Pirates with 3 straight homers, beginning with an inside the Parker by Pedro Alvarez.
Got a high fastball. Martin jumped on, and then a breaking pitch. Garrett Jones for the third of the trifecta. What you call an ambush. And now with one out, McCutchen more likely to try to steal third base again with the left-handed hitter up there. It's a clear throwing lane for the catcher. But he's got everybody's attention on that infield.
So the last time the Pirates hit 3 consecutive homers in Pittsburgh, you have to go back to 1955. Bounce to first. Raley over to cover. Ball gets away. Run will score. 4-3 Pirates. That should never have happened. But it did.
Wow, yeah, what appeared to be the most routine of plays. goes awry somehow. We're going to see how. A little chopper to first base off the bat of Alvarez. Rizzo with the underhand toss. It's a little high. McCutcheon never taking his eye off the play. Sees the miscue and sprints home. Culpability on both ends there. Was not a good feed from Rizzo. Raley should have been able to make the play, however.
Still waiting on a scoring decision.
There on Raley. You could chop that one in half and give him each a piece of it. Kind of in between there. You're that far away. Sometimes you see a guy throw that ball overhand.
Boy, I mean, you're splitting hairs here on who should get it, but I'd probably give it to Rizzo simply because of where the throw ended up, and now all of a sudden Raley has got to find the bag with his foot. Yeah. It was in the glove too. You're right, half an error each would probably be most appropriate. At any rate, it's now 4-3.
The pitcher, you'd rather have that ball up than down. When it's down below the waist, that's the one that's really tough to handle. Chest high is ideal.
2-1 on Martin. Well, that would have given Raley a fighting chance to get out of this with no damage. It would have been 2 outs, runner at third. A chopper to third, backhanded by Valbuena, and he gets Martin. Nicely done. 2 outs.
Alvarez moves into scoring position. Martin runs pretty well. So Valbuena had to come and get this one in a hurry. Moving one direction, throwing back across his body. Nice play.
Marlon Byrd is going to bat for Garrett Jones, who tied the game with that home run in the fourth.
McCutcheon, that run is charged to Arrieta, so right now he would be on the hook for the loss if the Cubs don't at least come back and tie this ball game.
Byrd has been great against lefties, and Dale will not let Raley face him. Looks like Carlos Villanueva will be the next Cubs pitcher. It's the Honda call to the pen. 4-3 Pirates.
Find big savings during the Menard Days sale and brighten your workspace with a shop light from American Fluorescent. This 48-inch light operates down to 0 degrees and provides up to 90% more light than a standard fluorescent. $9.99 after rebate. Upgrade your bathroom with a complete toilet from Mansfield. They have everything you need in one box. The Summit 3 Tall Elongated is only $147, and the Waverly Tall Elongated is just $159.
Save big money at Menards.
Today my journey brings me to Charlotte, North Carolina, where I spent the day with Geico driver Casey Mears. I told him the secret to saving money on car insurance. He told me the secret to his car setup. First, he adjusts his speed. And a quarter cup of pineapple juice. Or was that the secret to his barbecue sauce?
Hey, secret sauce.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
There's so many things that we do on a daily basis.
We run errands, we run to the grocery store. In fact, the average American drives fewer than 29 miles a day. The 100% electric Nissan Leaf goes 2.5 times that on a single charge.
It's a car. It just doesn't take gas.
So think about where you go in a day. Do you really need gas to get there?
The 100% electric Nissan Leaf.